not going to change either. The whole thing can be handed to the spectator for examination, and I think you'll enjoy this wonderful little effect. We recently came across this very beautiful, genuine leather briefcase that we decided to incorporate into an effect that we've been thinking about for a long time. It's called In Brief. You walk into an office, you're about to sit down, you say, just a minute, think of any time. They say, 12:11. You say, all right, you open your briefcase, you reach in, you immediately pull out a black bag. You toss the bag to your client. The client opens the bag and pulls out a clock inside, showing that on that clock, the time 12:11, the very time he was thinking of. When I was a young man, it was this effect, snake basket effect, that charmed me more than any single magic trick I'd ever seen. I feel the same way about it today. This is the Kyber Cobra. Spectator selects a card. In this case, we'll say the Seven of Hearts. The card is placed back in the deck, and you introduce the world's most dangerous animal, the Siberian serpent. This, my friends, is Cecil, the Siberian serpent. So, we're going to find the spectator's card. You're now seeing my event act. Is that the card? No. All right. Is that the card? No. This takes a little while, I hope you don't mind. We'll do it the fast way. Cards in the basket. Snake basket. I learned that from the dove workers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Kyber Cobra. Come on, Cecil, find a card. I don't have my kazoo, but we'll pretend. You need a kazoo, you need a turban, you know, you need the whole 9 yards. Da, 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, the seven... Back down, you got to get the right card, okay? Please. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the momentary distraction, but Cecil will find the correct card. All right, Cecil, if I make a suggestion, just shuffle them up a little bit, all right? Da, 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 da. Cecil will now shuffle cards, finding your... I beg your pardon, it's just one of those things. Cecil, find the card, bring it up so everyone can see the... I really feel very badly about this, ladies and gentlemen, but soon enough, Cecil will find your card. Did you see the card at all yet? No. Bring it up, Cecil. It's flowing around. Da 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seven of Hearts, another success by Cecil the Cessful Serpent. If you think that's easy to say, try it. It's enough, Cecil. Don't overact. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, although I think I should tell you, he's not nearly as dangerous a beast as you'd expect. Indeed, if you'll simply ask Cecil to come up, take a bow, he'll do so. Cecil, come on up, boy. Come on up, boy. Now, come up and take a bow. There he is. Don't overact. Ladies and gentlemen, the Siberian Serpent, and thank you. Let me introduce you to one of the most successful piece of forming apparatus ever developed. This is called Jumbo Sidekick. You've seen major performers using it all around the world, and this is a success in every sense of the word. Let me give you an abbreviated demonstration of it. The concept is the finding of a selected card. Nothing new, but the way we find it, I think you'll agree, is unique. The cards are offered to the audience in the normal fashion. Jumbo cards, much more visible in a stage situation. The audience member simply touches any card on the back. That card is shown to the audience, and the deck once more shuffled. The deck is replaced in the box, and the box placed on the table. Now, the deck, the effect is meant to be used with a pistol, and because this is videotaped and the pistol will not sound well on the tape, and also because I want to show you an alternate method for using the effect, we won't use the gun. In fact, we have the entire apparatus is sound activated, and I'm simply going to activate it with a clap of my hands, which is the way that I utilize it when I'm performing for children, and for one reason or another, you don't wish to have a pistol in your hands. All right. The Audience members asked to assist by pointing at the deck of cards, firing at which point the card will jump out of the deck with a hole in the middle. As a youngster, you simply have them point their fingers, move the thumb back as if to cock the weapon, and they should bang whenever they're ready. They say bang, you go, oh my gosh, what have you done to my table? And you notice, of course, drape falls. You say, don't worry about it, I'm going to give you another chance. And you have them back, move slightly closer to get a better shot. They cock their fingers or they aim the pistol, and the second shot, you say, no, you don't understand the premise behind this effect. I want you to be aiming at the deck, you understand? That perhaps this would assist if I were to simply turn the deck over. Now, you want to aim directly at the target, all right? Please be careful. This is extremely expensive equipment. All right, one more try, but after this, you have the act. And so they shoot once more. Unbelievable. Look what you've done to my props. But it shouldn't be a total loss. You see, you picked the 5 of spades, and you found the 5 of spades. My congratulations. Of course, at this point, they stop you. They let you know that you've gotten entirely the wrong card. Flustered for a moment, you say, well, but what was the card chose? It was the 4, they say. Oh, the 4. May I borrow your gun? And once more, you take a pistol, you back off a few steps, and you fire, at which point the middle pip is knocked off, and the 4 of spades is revealed. It's called jumbo sidekick. The entire apparatus folds flat into a carrying case about the size of a standard briefcase. We think it's a fine piece of apparatus, and we commend it to your attention. Wristwatch Blendo. This is a wonderful idea from the mind of John Ferrantino and Joe Silke. Here's the pitch. A spectator's wristwatch is borrowed and placed in the little blue bag. You then introduce the audience to a bunch of equipment. On the table are the following items. A little fishing pole device with a clasp on the end. The wristwatch is hung at the end of the clasp with the understanding that it will hang directly over this adorable little food processor. Yes, you're beginning to get the idea. In a moment, you tell them, you will light the candle. The candle will burn through the fishing line in exactly 35 seconds. At the point the 35-second mark is reached, the watch will drop into the food processor, thereby creating a Seiko souffle. During that time, I will be attempting to escape from these solid steel handcuffs. Now, obviously, if I can escape in time, I will rescue the watch. And so goes the setup. Now, the candle is lit, the apparatus is begun, the handcuffs are placed on the wrist, and the clock begins to count backwards. In the meantime, are beginning to escape. But look at the candle. The candle is tipping. Let me stop for a moment for purposes of explanation. As you are attempting to escape from the handcuffs, the candle tips toward the watch bag. And in a moment, you'll see that it's in enough proximity to light the bag on fire. Let's see when that happens. Struggling to get out of the cuffs. As the audience watches, candle tips farther and farther toward the bag. Until finally the bag is ignited. At that moment, you're panicked. You reach over, you grab the bag, you slam it to the floor. Realizing what you've done, you apologize. Gee, I'm terribly sorry. I lost my head. However, you agree to make things whole. I neglected one part of the explanation. At the beginning of the effect, you have handed the spectator a little red bag to place around their neck. The bag contains the keys to the handcuffs. And at this point, you implore the spectator to release you from the cuffs. As they open the bag to get handcuff keys, they find that inside the bag is their watch. It's a wonderful effect. Congratulate both Ferrantino and Silke for thinking of it, and we're delighted to offer it to you. People think magicians are simply allowed to walk out on a stage and perform. Nothing could be further from the truth. Myself, for example, 20 years of self-denial, 20 years of self-abuse to bring me to the point I am today. And I'm going to recreate for you the final examination in Escapology 101 that I took at the university. It was a simple little idea. The professor had rigged up a handcuff attached to a guillotine. This to test your expertise in lockpicking. The idea was fairly basic. Attach the handcuff to the guillotine, secure it with a solid steel bolt, and place a little but imposing padlock through the bolt. The whole idea, of course, was to pick the lock. And so as to place a premium on time, the professor found a mean enough blade. The blade would revolve at 4,000 revolutions per second. When it reached the wrist, if you succeeded in escaping, you would pass the course. If it reached the wrist before you escaped, you failed the course. It was disarmingly simple. Now then, for purposes of the demonstration, I should tell you, and to allay the fear and horror on your minds, that if the wrist is approached too closely by the blade, this little red light will illuminate, and I'll simply turn off the equipment with the emergency switch. No problem. And for purposes of this demonstration, I will omit the pieces of raw vegetable that we place in the path of the blade. The raw wrist is enough to clean up if there's an error. All right, I think we're ready to begin. I will turn on the blade and start the descent. Da, 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 da. I normally supply my own music. Da, 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 da. It's very simple, really. I'm very good at this. Da, 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 da. No problem. Oh, that's a problem. You sip. Oh, that's a real problem. Oh, my God. Unbelievable. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. No problem. I brought with me a new wrist. I bought it secondhand. Performers are familiar with the old effect called copenetro, where 4 coins vanish and reappear magically, but visibly inside a glass that's been placed below other glass. This is our version. We think we've taken it a step further. For one thing, the performer doesn't have to hold the apparatus, nor does an assistant. You simply set it and walk away. At that point, the 4 coins, one by one, reappear inside the shot glass, which is placed underneath this glass. Now, because of time constraints, we're not going to demonstrate the whole thing, but I would like to take a moment to brag just a bit on behalf of our craft people out of workshop to show you exactly what sort of workmanship goes into a piece like this. This is inside of the Silver Odyssey. It's made with solid brass and solid hardwoods. This is the spring mechanism that causes each of the coins to be shot upwards into the outer glass and falling into the center, into the shot glass. It's a magnificent piece of equipment, and we think you'll enjoy it. The Silver Odyssey. The 7 keys to Baldpate is a routine that is so well known in the magic literature as to require very little explanation. This is our contribution to the literature. It's the Hemingway lock. What we've done for starters is to make a very heavy, very durable lock. We've also given it a good routine. Obviously, there are many that can be utilized. Some people attach the lock to a box of cash. Others hang it in the spectator's butthole. Some take a valuable bill and simply lock it onto the lock itself. But the routines, for the most part, are all the same. One key is chosen for the performer, or in some cases for the lucky spectator. The rest of the keys are kept by the others. And needless to say, all the other keys are simply no good in terms of opening the lock. The only key that will open the lock is the one chosen for the performer, and that one opens it each time, every time. It's called the Hemingway lock. It's a wonderful piece of commercial magic. Carnival countdown.